What up? This is Mike the Philosopher here with another one, y'all. This one is what I would call the unhealthy substitutes. Now, I did a video about this and it kind of garnered, I guess, enough attention for me to go into it with more detail. So I decided to do that. Go into this subject dive into it a little more deeper so that people can understand where I'm coming from. Now, this is a Mike the Philosopher exclusive, all right? I haven't heard this before. I made this term up myself, and I'm coining this phrase, unhealthy substitutes, the us. What I mean by the us is us. You'll understand a little more later. Without further ado, let's go in. Now, the number one, I guess you could say, unhealthy substitute, and I'm going to repeat some of the things that I've said in the other video, is when women don't have a man. What they tend to do is they tend to turn their sons into husbands. Now, the reason they do this is obvious. They long for someone to do things for them. They want the benefits of a man. This is why a lot of women don't even feel the need to be in relationships. Why? Because they got their son. They got their son to fulfill their husband needs. Now, I'm not talking about minors, so everybody calm down. I'm talking about adult sons, okay, that can help them out with things, pay bills, get them things, do things for them, cut their lawn, shovel their snow, do things that a husband would normally do. But since they don't have that man in the house, they assign those duties to their son. Okay. And this happens more often than you would think. Okay. There are a lot of situations where women, especially those with adult sons, will turn their sons into son husbands. Now, sometimes you will have it start out when they're minors, okay? They will get their son to sort of be the man of the house. Let me tell you a short story. Okay, I don't want to get too specific, but let's just say I was a part of, well, I would say I was very familiar with a certain family. I'll put it that way. And the son of that family started to feel like he was the man of the house. And for all intents and purposes, he was, because there was no man in the house. Okay. But he was just a minor child. Okay. Now, this young man actually thought that he could challenge me. Okay. Now, who am I? I'm very close to the family. Let's just put it that way. But I wasn't the man of that house. But he was pretty much assigned by his mother to be the man of the house. Well, the problem came in is when he thought that he could challenge me. Now, again, I don't want to go into too much specifics here, but let's just say that I had to remind him that he is not yet a man. Okay. And not only that, he has been misassigned. You're not a husband, you're a son. Okay. I had to remind him in my own way. I say all that to say that it starts when they're young and it carries on into their adulthood. Why women do this? It's pretty simple. There is no man in sight. And probably because those women have a hard time sustaining relationships with men. I've seen it for myself with my own eyes. Okay. So I'm not making this up. And you ever hear the term mama's boy? Well, that's how it starts. So that's one way of what I call an unhealthy substitute. Number two, if women don't have kids, they will get a dog and they will baby the hell out of the dog. I've seen it with my own eyes. Okay. Another short story. I was in a relationship with someone and they had a dog. And this dog pretty much prioritized everything that we could do. We couldn't take a trip certain places. Why? Because she couldn't find a kettle for the dog. We couldn't go certain places because she couldn't do something with the dog. She couldn't stay at my place for a long period of time because who's going to watch over the dog? She wanted to bring the dog over to my house. Okay. And the dog was not a inside dog. It was not an inside dog. It was an outside dog. It really smelled like the great outdoors. And I was not comfortable with the dog in my house. Okay. I say all that to say, and I've seen these things with my own eyes, people. Unhealthy substitutes. Now, her situation was that she did not have a child. And I was sympathetic to that. And I understood what was going on. However, it still came off to me as being unhealthy. Okay. But some would say it is healthy because it does curve the emotion and curve the depression. And I can kind of understand that point, but it's a substitute nonetheless. And her backstory is very involved, which I'm not going to get into, but let's just say that she did not use her youth in a way that would help her to have children. Let's just put it that way. Another unhealthy substitute, number 3. Women will turn their men into babies. What do I mean by that? Well, let me explain. Sometimes a woman who is powerful, who got money, who got prestige, probably got a nice career, she will go get a Pookie. Why? Because Pookie can do 2 things. He can be controlled and he can long stroke her. Okay. Now, she is only interested in having the power in the relationship. You'll find this in a lot of cougars. I'm not saying that they turn them into babies, but they sort of son their men. And what I mean by that is they like men in a more submissive role, or a role that they kind of flip roles, if you will. The woman is the man and the man is the woman in the relationship. So that's what I mean by men. Women will turn their men into their babies or their child, so to speak, because that's another reason. If they haven't had kids, they will settle for a man child, someone that they can take care of and tell what to do. And, the man is probably powerless to do anything about it. He's not standing upright as a man. And, who knows why? Sometimes that could be because he's fresh out the pen. He's fresh out of jail. He got a record. He can't work like other guys can. So she son him. Or he just makes less money than her. So she son him. So that's what I mean by another unhealthy substitute, when a woman turns a man into her child, and she demeans him and emasculates him, and all to keep her superior position in the relationship. Next up, number 4, a woman will make turn a man into her daddy. Okay, this is another unhealthy substitute. What do I mean by that? Well, there are a lot of women out there who have daddy issues. Okay, and it's really starting to show in society, because a lot of women want their man to treat them like a daughter. And what I mean by that is they never had their dad in their lives, so they want you to play daddy. That means pay all of my bills, take care of all of my needs, my upkeep. You got to pay for my nails, my hair. You have to pay for all that. You have to be a daddy. And in return, I don't have to do anything because I have the status of a daughter. Now, a daughter is in a special place with a man. Why? Because she doesn't necessarily need to return love to her father. She is loved unconditionally. Okay? And that is the position most women want to be in a relationship. They want you to treat them like they are your daughter. All of the obligation is on you. My dad was never there, so I'm going to need you to treat me like the daughter that I never got the chance to be treated like. And what dads do is they finance my whole life. This is why you see an increase in women asking for 6-figure men. He has to pay this. None of them want to be accountable for significant bills if they're going to be in a relationship. Well, I shouldn't say none of them, but most of them. They don't want to be responsible for the majority of bills. They want daughter treatment. You provide me all of my needs, and there is no obligation for me to be anything or do anything for you. This is why when the question is asked, what do you bring to the table? A lot of women have no clue on what to bring to the table because they're looking for their daddy. Their daddy wouldn't ask them, what do they bring to the table? Okay? Only a man who is looking for a relationship would ask them what they bring to the table, because you have to provide something. But a lot of women out here, I'm not going to say all, but too many women out here is looking for a daddy figure. take care of me. I can be as bratty as I want. I can get away with as much as I want. I can talk greasy as I want, and I am obligated to provide you nothing. You give me unconditional love and you take care of me. And that is the deal that women are striking out here today in the dating market. They want to turn their men into daddies. And that to me is a very unhealthy substitute, and probably the most probably the one that's done the most unhealthy substitute of all of them out here right now is women want men to be their daddy, because they never learned how to be a partner to a man, and they missed out on being a daughter to their daddy. So they need you to fill in that role. Next up, now I know some women are thinking, oh, well, is all the unhealthy substitutes just on women? No, they're not. Okay. Since you watched the show for this long, let's get into the men. Okay. Now, the first unhealthy substitute for a man is he turns his wife into his mama. Okay. There are a lot of men out there who want their wives to be their mother them, baby them, sort of take care of them in a motherly fashion. I know a lot of women out here are saying, well, I'm not your mama and this, that, and the third. And I get that. I understand that. But some men will want their women to do that. I think people really need to recalibrate what relationships are. But I have noticed that if a man don't get certain type of attention from his mother, he's going to want his woman to mother him. Or if he was a mama's boy, he may want his woman to continue mothering him like his mother did. Men often compare their women to their mother's cooking, and their mother, you don't do this like mom, and things like that. And that can be another unhealthy substitute. To ask your woman to be your mother. Okay. I don't date men, so I don't know how prevalent that is, but I do acknowledge it as being one of the male unhealthy substitutes. Okay. Next up, another man unhealthy substitute is when he treats his mama like his woman. Okay. That is another unhealthy substitute. And this is when the man becomes an adult and his mama's word is everything. And even when he got a woman or a girlfriend, his mama is going to come before his one, or his wife for that matter. His mother is going to come before his wife. That what I would consider an unhealthy substitute also. So, for obvious reasons, he probably has been programmed all his life, and it is what it is. But his mother is always at the top of the list, and he treats her like his woman, not intimately, obviously, but with the appreciation and with the with the respect of what he should have for his wife instead. Okay. Uh, Mom takes top priority and practically can run her son however she wants. Uh, Again, that term is called mama's boy, and that is an unhealthy substitute. Now, all that being said, those are about 6 unhealthy substitutes that I can think of. If you guys can think of some more, put them in the comments. I will really be interested to know. However, okay, and I'm going to say this, and I want everybody to turn this up. I'm going to drop another jewel, okay? In my opinion, there is only one healthy substitute, okay? There is only one healthy substitute that I can think of. Well, I'll put it this way. I think the woman who gets a dog in case she can't have children, I would say that's probably it could be a healthy substitute if she can't have children. But this is the number one healthy substitute. Listen up very closely. This substitute is if I am a man and I tell my woman, listen, let's strike a deal. Okay? I will treat you like my daughter if you treat me like my mama. Okay? That is the only healthy substitute. Now, what is that? That means I will treat you with all the love and attention that I would show a daughter, but only if you treat me with the love and attention I got from my mama or I need from a mother. Okay? In today's terms, they would call that a traditional relationship. But the problem is that in today's time, a lot of women don't agree with treating the men like their mama. They want to get treated like a daughter, but they don't want to treat the men like their mama. And this is where there is a breakdown. The daughter and the mama relationship is really a traditional relationship. But women have broken the contract. And I think the reason they have broken the contract is because they don't know how to be a mama. You can have kids and still not know how to be a mama. Just like you can have kids as a man and not know how to be a daddy. Okay? You can be a father to anybody. You could be a mother to anybody. But to be a daddy takes work. To be a mama takes work. Okay? And I strongly believe that today's women don't want the deal of taking care of their men like a mama. Why? Because that takes work. That takes attention. That takes nurturing. And a lot of today's women are not nurturing, especially in the Black community. We have lost the art of nurturing with our women. We have women who raise kids, but the lack of nurture is showing in all kinds of ways. Okay. We have pretty much a prostitute mentality with the girls, and we have a gangster mentality with the boys. And that is mostly due to the mothers because they're lacking nurturing qualities. So when they get into relationships, they don't want to strike the deal of having to nurture a man because number one, they don't know how to. And number two, they don't want to do the work. I was watching a interview with Jeezy, and Jeezy said that he never really felt much love from his mother. And, he said his mother pulled a gun on him. Okay. That shows you, I know that's just his specific story, but there are a lot of other stories out there like that in our community. And I don't see a lot of Black female nurturing going on. So it's hard for the women to nurture their men and their kids because that takes work, which is something that a lot of them don't want to do. They just want to receive. So ladies and gentlemen, if we are going to make relationships work and have a healthy relationship, there is only two options. Number one, the healthy substitute, which is I treat you like my daughter if you treat me like my mama did. And another scenario is 50-50. We split everything down the middle. Half the bills, half the chores, half the responsibilities, half on everything. Make a choice. Do you want a traditional relationship? Or do you want to just go half and half with a man? Those are the only two ways a relationship can ever work. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. I'd be interested to know. Hit the like, share, and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.